guys, welcome to Honey Let's Be Real. We did a show live earlier, and it we had some issues, so we're gonna do it again, but it's gonna be pre-recorded. And our co-host is doing a separate one, so next time we'll have it together a little bit better. So for this show, this part of the show, I'm going to go ahead and do my part of it. So we talked a little bit on the first episode about changing with the change and knowing if it was time in your life to make a change in your relationship or at work or in your personal life with your kids, whatever the situation was. So we talked about what that would look like if you decided to make a change. And so once we figure out, are we going to make a change, we want to figure out how to move forward. So today, that's kind of going to be what we're talking about is once you figure out that maybe you do need to make a change, some of the stuff that could help you realize that you do. So one of the things that I think it's really important is to understand if you are burnt out. And this isn't just at work, this is personally as well. So, some ways that you can tell that if you're burnt out is if, and you really got to pay attention to yourself because sometimes we may not know that we're burnt out. We might just think that you're agitated with your job or you're agitated with your partner or your kids are getting on your nerves. But the thing is that, if those are things that you don't normally have issues with and now all of a sudden everything's bothering you, then it's probably because you're burnt out. So if you notice that you're getting annoyed at work or at home about things you normally wouldn't get annoyed about, me personally, I start to nitpick everything, whether it's work, home, my kids. I just nitpick. And that's like my biggest signal. If I'm nitpicking stuff and I'm like unhappy in general, I know that I'm burnt out. I'll sleep a lot more. And then I will also lose the motivation to do like my daily tasks. Like as far as like if I get off work and I know I have laundry to do, I'll just let it go. And a lot of times I feel like we hold ourselves responsible and we are too hard on ourselves if we start lacking on any of these things because we simply just don't understand that we're burnt out. So on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, I did post these slides, everything that's going to be talking about on the show, to talk about different things if you think that you're burnt out. So there's a list there that goes over, just different things. If you feel those ways, maybe, you need to reevaluate some things, whatever those things might be. But again, just if you're irritable, if you don't have any motivation, I feel like we always go to the, oh, I'm depressed or the clinical stuff, but maybe it is you're just burnt out. You need to take a couple days off at work. I always try to take Thursdays and Fridays off so that I have Saturday and Sundays so that my days turn into 4 days off. And it really does, it really does help me. And then I feel like once you figure out if you are burnout, then you can say, okay, now that I know these things, what can I do to improve on those things to make myself better to start on the road to getting better. Crystal's going to cover that and I will splice that in here, those things that we could do to start giving ourselves a little bit more self-love. And one of those things, I did again put this slide up on the page. This is a lot prettier on the page. I had to kind of splice it to get it all to fit on here. But a lot of times, because we think we're being insecure or we're not happy in what's going on in our life, I think especially as women, we choose to get, well, not choose, we get insecure. And I'm not saying every woman, I'm just talking about me or the experiences I've had with my friends. So I have 3 brothers, 6 uncles, a ton of cousins, a lot of male friends. So I have heard men versus women have so many different conversations apart, and they're so different, but they all lead back to the same thing: is the man is simply stating, I'm tired, I need to get some sleep, or I'm going to go watch the game with my friends, or I'm going to go to the movies by myself, or I'm just having a bad day. And a lot of us will take it as, I don't want to spend time with you. We hear what you're saying or what he's saying, but we are, the first place we go to is an insecurity. And a lot of people will jump straight to, oh, I know he's cheating because it's women's intuition. Well, the thing is it is women's intuition. And again, you guys, these are just my personal opinions. Okay. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I do believe that it is women's intuition, but I think that's because women, for the most part, we live by structure and pattern. We get up every day, we get our kids up, we get them ready for school, we go to work, or we stay at home, whatever your pattern is. And if our pattern gets thrown off just a little bit, it can throw things off. So we're going to be the same way with our partner. If we notice our partner has certain habits or patterns and all of a sudden those patterns are throw off, we're going to catch it. And that's what the women's intuition is. And of course, men have it as well. It's just when you notice that there's a flaw in the pattern, there's a kink in your chain all of a sudden, and our knee jerk reaction is to assume that it's us. And again, not everybody. Um, and because we may have trauma from previous relationships or from our childhood or whatever, again, or we're burnt out or we're not communicating, whatever the case may be. Sometimes we need to step back as human beings, women and men, and make sure that we have started out that we're healed, that any past trauma that we've had in our previous relationships are gone. Because you can't come into a relationship with a new person and hold them responsible for all the stuff your exes did. You have to come in and give them the benefit of the doubt. A lot of my female friends don't agree with me on this. And I understand, again, that this is just me. However, I choose to do that because I don't want to hold someone else accountable for something they didn't do. So with self-healing comes self-love. If you're not loving yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself mentally, if you're not getting your energy back from the people you're giving it to, you're not going to have self-love. And if we don't love ourselves, we can't trust other people. And if you're one of those people that are running around and you're paranoid about everything and you don't trust anybody, then you really need to work on some self-love because you don't have any. Um, and I feel like a lot of times when this happens, we do jump to our partner's conclusion of they're not being honest, or they're not that they're not being honest, but they're just not telling us everything. So if we start to redirect our thoughts and our patterns based on what we know. So if we're with someone that we trust, whether it's a friend or a partner or a company, if we're with those people and we trust them, we should be able to trust what we're told. Because at the end of the day, if you can't trust what you're told, you shouldn't be with that person. So if you trust what you're told, that's not even going to be an issue. Now, if you trust what you're told and there's still like whatnot, you still need to give grace to your partner. What if they're going through something that they don't want to talk to you about? You know, men don't always talk about their feelings. Sometimes they hold them in. They're not as chatterly as we are. So they may not tell us what's going on. They may have too much pride to tell us what's going on. So we want to learn how to replace that negative thought of what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Does he not want to be with me anymore? Does she not want to be with me anymore? Whatever. Do they not want me at my job anymore? With a positive narrative of, you know what, I need to relax because I'm enough for this person. I'm enough for my friend. I'm enough for my job. And it's not about me. This person, most of the time, they even tell us it's not you. And we're still like, oh, it is. But no, it's not. Because if it is, they're going to tell us. If we think about it, when it is us, we do get told. Um, and you'll know when you need to address it for real because you'll have seen that the patterns are changed. You'll be able to go to your partner and say, hey, I noticed that you used to do this or you used to do that, but we have changed our pattern. Is something wrong? Okay, it's not me. Well, what's going on? Is there something going on at the house? Is there something going on at work? Or are you arguing with your friends? And some partners may have that conversation and other partners may not. Other partners may say, I'm not interested in having that conversation, or they may shut down. But whether you're a man or a woman, your partner needs to understand that if you're the kind of person that shuts down, not to pressure that in an aggressive way, because then your partner's going to shut down, your friend's going to shut down, your boss is going to shut down, and then you've gotten nowhere. Versus if you take time, trust the situation, trust that it's not you if you're told that it's not, give the person some understanding, and then try to move forward in a more positive way, it's going to make a very big difference.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Stay blessed.